The long wait is over and Turtle Rock Studios has come to deliver. Since everyone's pretty much forgotten about this thing called Evolve, we now have a chance to sink our teeth into something new. Familiar, but definitely new. We got early access to Back 4 Blood, and there's so much to unpack after having such limited time to do proper research. With the open beta running until the 16th, we're sure you want a piece of that sweet, bloody action. Take note though that this is all based on our early access experience, and things could change by the official release. That being said, we're not about to let you go in headfirst, unprepared. The Army of Knowledge is open for business, and we're making sure no one gets left for dead. Hey guys, I'm Nicey with Ungeek, and here are the things you should know before going Back 4 Blood. Whether you call it a spiritual successor or an unofficial sequel, you'd be more or less be on the money for both. Turtle Rock managed to bring us as close as we can to Left 4 Dead without getting into legal issues. While the nostalgia will always be there to enjoy, you can't deny that Back 4 Blood is a completely different beast on its own. The graphics are smooth and polished, working well with both newer and slightly older graphics cards. From low all the way to epic settings on native 4K, you'll find yourself appreciating the set pieces for a moment before going back to getting murdered. Unlike before, you can now climb and parkour your way out of danger, adding a bit more realism in a zombie apocalypse since you'd actually want to climb away to escape a horde. The gunplay is quick and snappy, staying up to date with the most modern shooters with an ADS function, attachments, and accuracy both in appearance and, well, performance. Both the players, aka the cleaners, and the zombies, or the ridden as they're known in the game, are designed with detail, complemented by great voice acting, and while you'll always find yourself covered in blood, as expected, it only really adds to the overall aesthetic. Bloody brilliant. No man is an island, and no, you can't be the solo hero of the campaign. Back 4 Blood focuses heavily on team play and coordination. Each of the 8 cleaners, although the early access only had 5 unlocked, has their own starting weapon and set of traits which range from faster team movement speed to an extra life for your team. This gives you the options on how to build your team with better chances of survival. These traits aren't game breaking, but will definitely help your team in a pinch. Proper planning and communication play a vital role in allocating your precious ammo and purchasing items in between levels, especially in the higher difficulty. It doesn't matter if you're taking on a horde of infected or taking down a boss. Teamwork is key. One thing I did not expect was a card system, especially from a game like Back 4 Blood. If you're a fan of Slay the Spire or Hades, then you'll find a bit of familiarity here. You get a starter deck of 5 cards with different perks, stat boosts, and utility, and you pick up new cards along the way. What's even more awesome about this is the possibility of different character builds. Want to focus on melee? Go right ahead. Rifles for days and everything long range? Say no more. Defensive healer? All par for the course. In the campaign, you also get added challenges via corruption cards that sort of change the dynamic of each stage. Some of these are tasks that you need to complete in order to gain a reward, while others are additional hazards or enemy buffs that you need to deal with in a particular map, like more birds, fog, or even special ridden. I wasn't too fond of the card system at first. It seemed a bit of out of place and looked to make things more complicated, but it grew on me as we got further into the game. I saw the usefulness in combining different cards depending on the situation, and the fun in experimenting in different builds. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's definitely worth tinkering around and playing with. Based on what we got in early access, Turtle Rock isn't looking to include cards in microtransactions save for those locked behind the season pass. Which is great news. With new cards, characters, and zombies possibly coming out later on, you'll be getting more chances to play your cards right. I mean, you'll have to if you want to survive. Replayability is definitely one of our takeaways from Back 4 Blood. With all the unique player characters and fresh new card system, there's 100 different ways to run a game. Now, what would variety be without punishing levels of difficulty? While you won't be calling Back 4 Blood the Dark Souls of the zombie FPS games anytime soon,
nobody told me this was Dark Souls! This is Dark Souls!
The beauty of the game comes how different the experience is with each level of difficulty. The baseline difficulty Survivor is basically the mode you play to get a sense of what the maps have to offer while maximizing the fun factor of your play. Survivor mode lets you basically go all out and live your zombie apocalypse gamer fantasies. It becomes a completely different story when you switch from Survivor to Veteran. While the description just says there's 35% more friendly fire, what the game doesn't tell you is that a number of ridden and special ridden within the maps will also increase, and you'll also be dealt more corruption cards at the start. And Nightmare? Well, it pretty much lives up to its name. In these two modes, the play experience becomes more intense and will require squad coordination. You'll need to rely on making sure not everyone is using the same kind of ammo, and you'll need to share ammo amongst yourselves. More advanced decks will also be crucial to succeed in these modes. One thing to note is that the difficulty spike from Survivor to Veteran is quite high, and while this might come as a surprise, it can definitely be overcome by planning out your squad movements and by equipping yourself with better cards, which you'll get the more you play the game. As of early access, there are two primary ways that you can play, through playing the campaign or by playing PvP. Our opinion though is that the best way, or maybe even the only way to play is by doing a 4-player campaign. And let me break down why we think so. Back 4 Blood's PvP revolves around a swarm mode. It's your fast-paced best of 3 4-on-4 deathmatch with a twist, in the form of shrinking gas clouds surrounding the map a la Battle Royale. Each side gets turns playing both as cleaners and the special ridden, survive long enough, or decimate as quickly as you can to claim victory. This is, in our opinion, inferior compared to Left 4 Dead's PvP mode, where a group of 4 players run through a campaign map as the survivors while the other 4 play as the special ridden who try to impede your progress and vice versa. Aside from that, being one of the ridden in PvP leaves a lot to be desired. Controls feel unresponsive at times with difficulty in maneuvering around, and it kind of takes away from the experience of being a powerful undead monster when the humans can circle strafe while shooting you in the face, which gets in the way of our desire to be strong, independent monsters that can punch things really hard. Then there's the campaign where you go through the game's story, which is amazingly fun when you have a full party of 4 friends. Not so much when you play solo, since the magic of games like this lies in the communication and coordination between you and your friends. I mean, playing with the AI in solo should be okay, but it will feel like something's missing. Another caveat to this though is that if you have less than 4 people, we're almost sure that the full game will let you play with less than 4 people with AI taking control of an empty player slot. However, during early access, the game defaulted to a setting where players can just join your game at any time if you have less than the full 4. This gets amazingly frustrating because you usually end up with that one player who goes off on his own or doesn't really stick with the team dynamic. This made for some really frustrating runs, and all we can do is hope that this isn't the case for the actual launch or for the open beta. Truly, nothing beats the experience of plowing through Ridden with your 3 other friends as you strive and struggle to complete your objectives. That's it, guys. Those are the things you need to know before playing Back 4 Blood. As for my final thoughts, I say wait and see before putting this game in your cart, or better yet, experience this game for yourself during the open beta. The bugs, lag issues, and problems with some of the controls take away from it being worth its full price right now, but because it's early access, it is just too early to call it at this point. Given how much fun we've already had, we're hoping for a more polished version when it gets to the full release. Until then, we'll keep you guys all posted. Again guys, I am Nicey with Ungeek, and I'll catch you all in Fort Hope during the open beta.